Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from Inkybutterfly.com. Thank you so much for joining me again today for this month's Stamp Around UK video hop. Our theme this time is spring, so I'm guessing we're going to see quite a lot of flowers and fluffy bunnies and things like that. So this is a hop, so there will be links in the description to everybody else who's participating. It'd be really great if you could have a look, do some likes, shares, subscribe, all that jazz. It really helps us build up our channels and our visibility on YouTube. So if you have got the time to hop through, that would be really helpful for everybody. Everything I use will be linked in the description as well, so if you wanted to have a closer look at anything that you see today, do that as well. But other than that, we'll get cracking, and we are going to make a version of this card today. This nice floral background. This is Balmy Blue, and I've used a residual ink. So I'm guessing I had a bit of lemon lolly, I had a bit of peach pie, and I had a bit of wild wheat, and I had a bit of soft sea foam on a brush, and I've just used that to stencil these flowers, and I've die cut it with some really fab dies that are in the online exclusives at the moment. So the masks I'm using are the Enduring Beauty masks. The sentiment, because I didn't really want to go because of the theme, I wanted something that said spring on it. We could die cut some letters and things like that, so to make our own sentiment, but I thought I'd pull out this stamp set because it has got that those seasonal bits and pieces in there too. I did toy with doing something with the bumblebee, but I ended up doing these, and the actual panel has been cut out with these fabulous textured notes dies. Okay, so these have got all different decorative edges on them, and I'm using the second largest and the smallest one to go with my card today. So these are really fab. I love these. They're going to be really useful, I think. And these are an online exclusive, and these two are in our current annual catalogue. Okay, so let's move on then. I always try and do a different colour combination, so I'm going to switch out the card base for Highland Heather, one of our other beautiful soft colours. So this is they're both in the Subtles collection. Okay, and I'm going to bring in some scrap paper and some cardstock, just some basic white. I'm going to use sort of half a sheet or so here, and we're going to use our masks to do some inking. So I'm going to make sure that's in shot for you. With them, I put my masks, I put them over here. How silly. So there are 5 masks in the set, and they've all got a little number at the top here. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, so there's 3 that make up the flower, and then there's 2 for the leaves. Okay, so the first one just gives you sort of like a solid image. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop that on here. Just line it up with the top of the cardstock here, and just going to make a couple of marks here just to help me out with positioning it each time. I'm just going to secure my cardstock as well underneath here, just to help keep things in place. And even I'm marking the edge of the stencil here, but it just helps you not slip and slide if you put a little bit of tape on here. Okay, so again, I have not re-inked this brush. I have just picked it up out of my storage rack and I'm using whatever ink was left on the end on there. And I flip this round, line it up with the top edge again. Okay, put it into place, mark my corners. And we're going to do 2 each of these, so they're not going to come out exactly the same, but flowers aren't exactly the same. And again, just using this residual ink, which looks like I say, it might just be a bit of bubble bath on there. Okay, cool. So that's stencil number 1, or mask number 1, I should say. Always want to call them stencils, but the correct term is masks. So let's just peel that off and pop that over there, ready to clean later. So we'll line that back up again. These are kind of quite forgiving anyway, so just line it up as best you can, but the marks help. So again, whatever residual ink is on here, I'm going to use. And again, I couldn't tell you exactly what it was. It might be Petunia Pop. But I'm not going to go too heavy with it. I want to keep it kind of subtle. Cute, right? Twist it round. Let's do another one. So I'm going to sort of try and do this as efficiently as possible. So it's a nice quick way to create a coloured flower using these masks. They clean up really easily with either water or a little bit of isopropyl alcohol or something like that. Really, really easy to clean. Now I've got to do something with the centres, so I'm going to pick out my sort of the brush that I usually use for the browns. Pick up a bit of that. That looks a little bit like pecan pie. Or maybe a bit of crumb cake actually. It might be my crumb cake one because I did a monochrome card with crumb cake the other day, so that's possibly what that is. Yeah, nice and subtle. Don't want anything too heavy, just want it really soft. Okay, and it just goes to show that the brushes that we have, they will hold a whole load of ink. So you know, just keep going, and if you apply pressure to the head of the brush here rather than holding it further down, that extra pressure will help you apply that extra ink. And there's a temptation to always go in one direction when you do the circular motion, but if you go both clockwise and anti-clockwise, you'll get a better coverage. Okay, so you know, they don't necessarily come out identical, but that's fine. Flowers have variation in the wild. So now we can pop in our leaves. So stencil number 4, or well, actually it's number 2, but I use all 3 flower ones, and then I go in with the then I go in with my leaves. So let's see. Do you know what? I'm just going to keep with that light green brush, I think. We'll keep it nice and light. I'm not even that worried that it's not covering necessarily. If there's little white bits, that's cool, that's fine. I can cope with that. It's really nice and relaxed way. Oops, I've done that the wrong way around. Why doesn't that want to line up? Is that because I've moved it? What did I do? Oh, it's because I've flipped that round, isn't it? What a wally. Right, okay. So relaxed, I forgot what I was doing. Okay, so as I was saying, don't worry, you know, if it isn't perfect, it's not going to worry. I'm not going to worry about it. Just supposed to be having fun when we're creating these cards. So I'm going to use exactly the same brush for the detail on the leaves. And again, because if you apply a little bit more pressure, and obviously you're going over the same area twice as well with some of this whoops, with this you're going to get a bit of a darker tone. And again, holding the brush at the head there will help you apply a bit more ink. But that's a really nice sort of subtle looking flower. I'm tempted to put a bit more of the base pink on just to sort of brighten it up a little bit. And that's totally your choice when you've done, you know, a bit more of your own project. If you think another layer, one of your layers needs a little bit more, you can go back in and do that. Okay, and some of it's going to get cut off in the way that I'm going to make this into my card front. Okay, so, you know, entirely up to you if you want to go back into anything or not, as the case may be. I'm just going to have to move these brushes, otherwise they're going to end up getting all over the place. Just bear with me a second. Got this little carousel-y thingy. Just trying to find where they went. Okay, right. So now we're done with this. We just need to use the coordinating die to cut these out. Okay. So we'll just grab that off my little magnetic holder here. Those have got a little bit close, but it should be fine. Should be fine. So we'll just get that lined up. And we'll run this through our die cut machine, which I have set up. So half a sheet of cardstock fits quite comfortably on a one of your cutting plates. So I do that quite a lot. I cut down some sheets of A4 cardstock in half, ready for this kind of thing, and just doing some layers or whatever. I also do a lot of I cut down a load of card layers as well, ready to go. Just saves a bit of time, and it's a good thing to do when you've got a bit of crafter's block as well, because it just busies yourself, and all of a sudden you'll have an idea or whatever, and you're ready to create then. And when you're ready to create, it's nice to have some of those little jobs already done. Okay, so we've got 2 of those die cuts. Put that scrap over there. That's going to go into the recycling in a bit. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, die cutting's a little bit off on that one, but it's not going to matter. I'm going to use one of said pre-cut card fronts, because I know that that's going to fit, even though we're going to die cut it again. So we're going to place these onto this layer, and I'm just trying to get them so they don't necessarily overlap. You could stencil straight onto the layer, right? But I figured that this gives you just that little bit of an option to sort of have a look at how it's gonna fit on the page. Okay, and it just gives you that moment to think about it. Okay, so I'm making those warm up touch in the middle, but we've got this ribbon coming across the middle to sort of hide any sort of untidiness, shall we say. Okay, so once you're happy that you've got your blooms where you want them to be, we're just going to tack those into place with some seal. So I'm going to leave that one where it is to help me keep everything in position. So I'm going to just pop some seal across there, hold this down, and I know I want these to touch here and here, just eyeballing the top, just making sure I'm getting everything where I want it. So right there we go. And we'll do the same with this one. Get those in where I need them. And you know what, sometimes they move around a little bit, but it gives you an idea anyway of where they're going to be. Somewhere around there. There we go, that'll do. Okay. Right, so what you could do is trim that down and just leave it as a card panel like that. But I kind of felt like there was a lot of sort of overhanging stuff that I didn't really like, which is why I ended up die cutting it. Okay, so now you've got a bit of options, because you don't necessarily have to pop that directly in the middle. You could move this around, take it a bit further up or left or right or whatever you want to do. Okay, so you do end up with some bits that are wasted, but it was residual ink anyway. Okay, so it's kind of up to you how much or how little you want to keep, really. So I'm thinking if I shift this up slightly and maybe go this way, yeah, but the white space isn't gonna is cool, that's fine. I think I might go there, because I thought I could adjust the layout a little bit, and rather than having the sentiment sort of going across the middle, I can have it shifted down a little bit. So you see how that one's going across the middle? So I'm going to run this through the die cut machine, and that's going to cut through two layers of cardstock, and that will do it just fine. Okay, just run it forwards and backwards, and that'll, you can always tell it's gone through. And then I'm just going to gently peel away that stuff around the middle, around the edge, I should say. Okay, now you could preserve some of this stuff for the inside of the card as well, if you wanted to. Just trim that down and have it sort of peeking in at the bottom. In fact, let's do that. I'm just going to snip that away. Get rid of that in a minute. Okay, you could sort of, can either pull it apart or just cut it straight. We'll cut it straight, shall we? And then we'll just lay it on. Okay, we'll put that to one side to do in a bit. Just take away this bit of low tack tape, and this is our panel. Okay, so we're going to use our sheer silver or metallic ribbon. A bit of sticky tape is going to help us position this. So I'm going to wrap it around the back roughly where I need it. So it's going to be about there. So that'll keep that really nicely in place, and there's no worry about it shifting. Before I twist it all the way, before I wrap it all the way around, I'm going to put a twist in it, or two actually, because that will make it look like we've tied it once we secure that with a glue dot. And then I'm going to wrap that round, secure that, and cut that. And while we've got the ribbon in front of us, we can do our bow. So don't be stingy with your ribbon when you're tying a free bow. You always need enough to kind of do it, you know, get your fingers around it. You get loads on a reel. There's very few ribbons I've actually got to the end of. I really like neutral kind of ones like this that kind of go with anything. I think they're really versatile. It would have been nice, I think it would have been really cool to have like a silver and a gold one of these. And then you'd literally have something glittery to go with anything. So bows you can really fiddle about with all, you know, till the cows come home, really, to be honest. So let's leave it at that, and then I'm going to hold the ends and cut them together like this, which means you'll end up with your tails cut the same length and the same angle. Okay, right, so this is going to go on with some dimensionals because I like having a little bit of lift onto my cards, and it's a really nice inexpensive way to kind of add something to a card, just by adding some layering and some texture. So the ribbon and stuff like that all helps towards making something that's, you know, luxurious. So let's just hover over the top there and pop that down. As long as your left and right borders are okay, even if it's a little bit up and down, you can kind of get away with that. Right, so before we get too carried away, let's sort out this that's going to go across the bottom of this card. Yeah, so I'm going to use my little mini guillotine and just crop that a little bit. Sorry if my head got in the way there, it's alright. Just going to line that up there and just cut that straight. She says. Doesn't seem to want to do that last bit of tough stuff there. Don't know why. No, I can't get it out. There we go. This was a little freebie gift, I think, one year. So I'll snip away that little bit of excess, and we'll just pop that in there. It's kind of cool. May as well use it and not let it go to waste. Don't think I mind that there's a little bit of Highland heather and white background on there. Okay, and it's sort of free at the bottom. There we go. Could have stuck it on a white panel actually as well, and that would have tidied that up a little bit, but you can do that with your version if you decide to replicate this. I'm going to use glue dots now to just secure this ribbon a little bit. So I twisted it so that you get the sort of impression that that bow, instead of being stuck on over the top of a flat ribbon, it's actually been hand tied. So we'll use that as our place where our knot is going to form. Okay, like so. And now we need to do our sentiment. So just need some basic white cardstock. Let's see, there we go. I've got a scrap here that will do it, I'm sure. And to complement this, we're going to use the Highland Heather, and we'll use Gorgeous Grape. Okay, so on the sample I used the base cardstock colour, so in this case it was Balmy Blue, to stamp the happy. So we'll just get that done. And it's going to be at a little angle there, just to make it a little bit funky. And it's just the sort of scripty font and the straight font, and just making the two work together. So a slightly darker colour, and we're going to tuck that in so that those other letters sort of wrap around it a little bit. So just like that, just like that. Okay, and we'll use a little bit of our tape. So we're just going to get that central-ish. Top, bottom, left, right. Secure that in and just run that through the die cut machine. I like these colours, like it, very cheerful. And there we go. So that's going to tuck in just there. Okay, so we're going to pop a couple of dimensionals across that top edge where it's going to actually come into contact with the cardstock rather than trying to stick it over the top of the ribbon. Okay, it'll keep it way more secure if you do it that way. And I like them hanging off the edge just to add a little bit more interest and draw your eye in. And the final little bit will be our rhinestones, which always add a nice little bit of sparkle, like so. And that is it. Okay, so that's gone on a little longer than I thought it was going to, but I hope you've enjoyed that. Okay, to make your beautiful masked backgrounds. Okay, so it'd be really great to see what everyone else has done, so I'll be hopping as well when this goes live. A really nice evening just watching all these videos and seeing how everyone's made their beautiful creations. So all the links to those will be in the description. Please do enjoy. Do stay safe, take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.